My name is Jimmy Nzita and you're watching News Track coming to you live from Harryfield Studio. Good afternoon. Nigeria has advocated a concerted response to xenophobia in South Africa. It has asked the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS, to take the issue from the regional bloc to the continental body, the African Union. Nigeria and Ghana, two leading members of ECOWAS, are among the countries worst hit by attacks on fellow Africans by mobs in South Africa, while the Cyril Ramaphosa government looks on. Nigeria, like other countries whose citizens living in South Africa came under attack, had citizens killed, maimed, or deprived of their means of livelihood through the looting of their shops, and subsequently evacuated many of them. Citizens of Southern African countries neighboring South Africa, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, and Botswana, among others, were also not spared by the rampaging mobs. President Bola Tinubu told the 69th ordinary session of the ECOWAS authority government in Lungi, Sierra Leone, that xenophobia stands condemned. In an address delivered by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the Nigerian government has evacuated 1,490 of its citizens in 7 batches and is prepared to engage in the matter. Tinubu reaffirms Nigeria's commitment to the newly developed ECOWAS Compact for the future of regional integration, describing it as a landmark roadmap for strengthening regional solidarity, economic integration, democratic governance, and sustainable development across West Africa. Voter registration has been described as the civil duty of every eligible Nigerian. Plateau State Director of the National Orientation Agency, Kaneng Pamhoro, started this during an advocacy visit to some churches in Jos on the ongoing final phase of the nationwide voter registration. Our correspondent reports that awareness campaign is in collaboration with the Plateau State government through the Ministry of Information and Communication.
The churches visited include Koikin Church Dadinkowa, St. Paul's Anglican, Equa Good News, and Koikin Headquarters Church, all in Jos. Addressing the congregation, State Director, National Orientation Agency, Kaneng Pamhoro, said the ongoing voter registration exercise started August 2025 to the 10th of July 2026, but the federal government deemed it fit to extend it to the 26th of this month. According to her, the ongoing exercise is for those who turned 18, those who lost their permanent voter cards or relocated, as well as those who could not collect it before.
Make yourself available to register for the ongoing permanent voter card. And then you should know that when you do the permanent voter card, you are also supposed to collect your card. This is where the problem is.
She advised those who have Android phones that they can use it to register and print their temporary voter cards before the permanent one comes out. Horo advised those who have not collected their permanent voter cards to do so to enable them elect credible leaders into various positions.
So for me as a mobilizer and for us as a team, we deemed it fit to come out to mobilize people, because most times you find that the elitists do not cast their votes. The elitists always have one excuse for the other, and that is why we've gone around these elitist churches we've been to today to inform them and to remind them and to rejig their spirit.
A director of public enlightenment and orientation with the Plateau State Ministry of Information, Ladi Emmanuel, underscored the importance of the exercise.
And the voter is there. We have a link that you can see in your comfort room and do that registration on your phone. And we want us to keep into this so that we cannot miss out.
Pastor Fangte Audu of Koikin Church Dadinkowa, the senior pastor of Koikin Headquarters Church, Reverend Caleb Dami, and the curate of St. Paul's Anglican Church, Venerable Rothschild Lar, expressed appreciation for the Enlightenment program and urged members to come out for the exercise.
Not just to go and get your voters card ready, but also to vote. That is very, very key.
We should be sensitized.
The sensitization is taking place simultaneously across the 17 local government areas of the state. I am Bol Chitpam.
Acting chairperson of the Plateau State Gender and Equal Opportunities Commission, Olivia Dazem, says child trafficking is a grave violation of human rights that affects millions of children worldwide. Dazem stated this at the 48th annual Speech and Prize Giving Day of Nakam Memorial Secondary School, Panyam, in Mongu local government area. Correspondent Saliu Shailong covered the event, and his report is continued from our studio.
It was a celebration of excellence, discipline, and commitment to raising future leaders as students, parents, and invited guests gathered for the 48th Speech and Prize Giving Day and graduation ceremony of Nakam Memorial Secondary School, Panyam. Guest speaker at the event and acting chairperson of the Plateau State Gender and Equal Opportunities Commission, Olivia Daziam, who spoke on the theme, child trafficking and its implications on society, said that trafficking is a crime that must be addressed to secure a better future for children and society at large. Daziam explained that children are gifts from God who deserve to grow up in a safe environment. She, however, noted that many are denied these opportunities because they have become victims of trafficking.
In some of the most ridiculous cases that the child is pursuing education, parents get to a particular point and say, this continue this education, let me remove you so that you can go and serve as house girl. After you serve for some 2-3 years, then we will now come back so that you go to school. That's the challenge.
She tasked parents to reflect on their responsibility to protect their children by providing them with sound education to become productive members of society.
You know, while I appreciate the fact that as I said, we have gone through a lot. No doubt about that. Now, it only means that because of our vulnerability, we have to arise in greater dimensions in order to pay attention to the issues that have to do with our children.
Principal of the school, Biwet Mijel, said the school has witnessed tremendous growth and success in infrastructure, student enrollment, and academic activities, and urged the graduating class to be worthy ambassadors of the school.
We impart in you holistic knowledge, integrity, and the gospel of walk in the light. Continue to walk in the light.
Representatives of the Nakam All Students Association in separate messages encouraged graduating students to remain committed in their pursuit of excellence during the event, which climaxed with the presentation of prizes to outstanding students.
Andy Bonham has become the United Kingdom's 7th Prime Minister in a decade after arriving at Buckingham Palace to meet King Charles III and be formally invited to form a government. The development follows his emergence as leader of the Labour Party, a position he assumed unopposed after Keir Starmer stepped down earlier amid declining poll ratings, disappointing local election results, and a controversy linked to former U.S. Ambassador Peter Mandelson. Starmer delivered his final speech on the morning of his resignation, paving the way for Bonham, 56, to take over the party leadership on Friday before officially becoming Prime Minister after his audience with the King. Following the formalities at Buckingham Palace, Bonham is expected to address the nation outside 10 Downing Street, a familiar figure in British politics for over 2 decades. He previously served as Culture Secretary and Health Secretary and twice contested the Labour leadership before his recent rise. Bonham's tenure as mayor of Greater Manchester significantly boosted his national profile, with several of his regional policies earning public support and shaping his broader political appeal. As he assumes office, he faces immediate pressure to form a cabinet and tackle mounting national challenges. His appointment highlights a period of political instability in the UK, which has now seen 7 prime ministers in 10 years, including recent leaders Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, and Rishi Sunak, most of whom left office without a general election defeat. A collection of poems, some scribbled on slips of paper between food deliveries, has won Wang Jinping one of China's top literary honors. Low flight, inspired by the everyday challenges delivery riders face, has backed the Lu Literary Prize, named after a writer who has been referred to as the father of modern Chinese literature. Wang, 56, who became a delivery rider around 2019, gained traction on social media for his poems and essays. He is part of a growing group of blue-collar workers who are being celebrated for their literary works, which offer a glimpse into the pressures that they face in China's massive gig economy. For Wang, the prestigious literary prize comes after a few difficult decades as an odd-job worker. The monetary awards for recipients of the Lu Literary Prize are not publicly announced, though as of 2014 it stood at 100,000 Chinese yuan in exchange of $14,800. Born in Jiangsu province, Wang left school as a teenager due to financial hardship at school. He took on various jobs from construction to scavenging for waste and selling things at a street stall before becoming a food delivery man. But his love for reading persisted, and over the last decade, he has been posting his own poems and essays on social media. In 2022, one of his poems, titled Man in a Hurry, went viral online. It was inspired by an incident in 2019 in which he spent hours on a frustrating delivery after a customer entered the wrong address. And talking sports, Ferran Torres scored the only goal of the game on Sunday as Spain beat 10-man Argentina 1-0 after extra time to win their second World Cup. The European champions dominated the match at the MetLife Stadium but struggled to find a breakthrough against the streetwise defending champions. Argentina goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez made a string of saves to deny Spain, but the match changed its complexion in second half stoppage time when midfielder Enzo Fernandez was sent off for a second yellow card after a reckless tackle on Pau Kubasi. Extra time followed a familiar pattern, with Spain probing for the opening goal against a deep-lying Argentina. The breakthrough eventually came in the early moments of the second period of extra time when substitute Torres finished crisply following a brilliant knockback by Nico Williams. Luis de la Fuentes, Spain conceded just one goal in 7 matches on their way to the final, suffocating opponents with their stick possession game. Lionel Messi's Argentina battled their way through the knockout rounds, coming back from the dead against Egypt and recovering from a goal down to beat England in the semi-finals. And that is it on News Track. Stay tuned for Global News at 6:30 p.m. and News Update at 10 p.m. But before then, enjoy the rest of our programs and have a very wonderful afternoon. Thanks for watching.